can only give so many marks to something with this many bad jokes and unfunny moments. But that entire snowman sequence, oh man.
Your ass. Nobody messes with Police Squad.
So the Naked Gun films have returned to try and save comedy once again. Is that what they did the first time? What? The first one's considered one of the greatest comedy films of all time. By who? Okay, so it's a very American, sort of zany comedy. It's very wacky. The script is so American it made my teeth hurt. I mean, hearing Liam Neeson, of all people, cracking jokes about the NFL, that almost made my head spin around like The Exorcist. But it does simultaneously have great jokes, silly jokes, awful jokes, jokes that belong in our time, and jokes that should be in the 1980s, if not earlier. It's a lot. The Naked Gun stars Liam Neeson as Frank Drebin Jr. and Pamela Anderson as his saucy femme fatale love interest. And the best thing about this film is undoubtedly the wholesome interviews of them actually being together for real now. In the film itself, Drebin has to fight against that one actor who really looks a lot like Elon Musk. And his boss, who is pretty much playing Elon Musk. He's literally like an evil rich guy that does a lot of electric car stuff. And the whole film is characterized by just an immense level of just pounding jokes into you. I mean, brutally, like constant. It never stops. Your ass will feel like it has been blown into the next century. I think I mean that in a positive way. I'm not sure still. I didn't expect to really love this. I thought looking at the trailer originally that it just looked a little bit silly. And I was really disappointed to find out that some of the jokes from the trailer were actually like re-edited for the trailer to be better. Like, some of those jokes are more like drawn out over the course of a scene, and actually that they're not as funny like that. So that was kind of disappointing. I also feel like sitting through the scene where this dude thinks that Liam is fucking his dog, and that's played as like 4 separate jokes just back to back. That was a long one to sit through, but there are so many scenes that are really great and so many running gags that they play a lot of times that are still funny every time. I don't know. I don't feel like it's a masterpiece. Some people are really like on this one, and I love that a proper comedy is making waves at the cinema. I am so happy for them for that. The thing is, I feel like there's still quite a few jokes that I didn't necessarily get the first time around. I just don't think it's quite good enough that I'm eager to watch it a second time around. I don't feel like every single joke hit in the originals either, and I'm not necessarily like a massive fan of them. I prefer probably Airplane for like Leslie Nielsen craziness and wackiness, but I do feel like this honors the originals while still having some jokes that belong in the originals, and yet it has a lot of great stuff in it. I mean, the running gag with the coffee being handed to him even in moving cars. Yes, there are just some really good running gags, but there are also some scenes where you're like, And to be fair, some scenes from the trailer, like the one where he's like in his car, like trying to find a bathroom, like that did not look funny to me in the trailer, and actually that scene plays off quite well, because he's like standing in the corner of the interrogation room going like, I ate 5 more chili dogs that day. Like, I was actually pretty good. There is a lot of good stuff about this. Like, Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson doing that snowman montage, wonderful. Pamela Anderson doing scat for like a really long time. And I guess that's the problem. Despite it being only 85 minutes runtime, it feels like some of the jokes are really being drawn out beyond what their potential was. Like her initially just going like babbity bap bap boop into the microphone was funny, but then it kept going for several minutes, and I was like, okay. The entire third act is just absolutely daylight robbed from the first Kingsman film. What? Come on. Like, but at the same time, it worked in the context. It was funny enough. It's fine. But yeah, the writers of the film were clearly had no qualms about committing crimes, just like every single character in the film itself. The lack of logic is so complete, as it was with the older ones, that you can never actually hate on it for silliness. When it starts to feel like it slips a little bit more into just outright childishness, there are a few times where I'm just like, But that is, I think, what you are always, or mostly always, going to get with this kind of film. It's always going to be a little bit juvenile with the actual good comedy writing. Like, it's all mixed up in there in a crazy paste. There is an overabundance of jokes in the old Leslie Nielsen kind of misunderstanding style. They will fire those at you at a brutal rate. And generally, they're still always funny when they do them. But I feel like near the end, when they kept firing them, it started to get a bit tired. I'm glad it was no longer than 85 minutes, put it that way, because it didn't need to be. I feel bad hating on this at all, because I swear I only want the best for you, entire comedy genre. I feel like there's been a lot of pressure put on this film. But I'm giving You Can't Fight City Hall. Nope, it's a building. 3 stars. I am a huge Liam Neeson fan. I am from very close to where Liam Neeson grew up. Like, I only want the best for him, but I've only ever seen him do deadpan comedy. This was a shift for him. Was it a good one? I'm not entirely sure. But I can't think who else they should have gotten instead. Yeah.